Hi, Dr. Todd Sullivan from Nova Chiropractic and Acupuncture. One common question I get from patients is it bad to crack your own neck? I advise patients not to crack their own neck because the main reason is you're not being very specific. So a lot of times people will crack their neck like this, they'll go one way then the other, and you're not being very specific. When we're adjusting someone's neck, we're looking to adjust just one segment or to restore the motion at one level. So we're trying to be as specific as possible, as opposed to when you're self-adjusting, you're just generally trying to get a pop or a click, and you may be adjusting an area that doesn't need to be adjusted, and say the area above or below it because it's moving too much, you'll get that audible release. When really the area that you needed the adjustment didn't move at all. So what you're doing is you're reinforcing that hypermobility, that increased mobility above the problem area, but you're not actually fixing the problem area. So that's why I typically don't advise anybody to self-adjust their neck. The other reason is you have a lot of important nerve structures that exit out through the spine, and if, God forbid, you do something incorrect and you irritate one of those nerves, then you're going to get real severe sharp pain either down your extremities or even down into your legs. So you got to be very careful if you're doing anything like that at home. So if you're stretching, you hear audible release, you hear that pop or a click, that's okay. You're not forcing a joint to pop or a click, and it probably just was tight and it needed to be released. And sometimes people will be able to achieve that multiple times. And what that indicates to me is that those muscles along the spine or in the lower back are really tight. So when you're actually just doing a stretch like that, you get that audible release, that tells me the muscles are really tight. They're pulling on that joint, and that's what's causing it to release. It's actually not moving that segment at well, but basically you're just getting that muscle to pull on the joint, and you get the audible release. Now, sometimes people will hear like a popping or clicking when they're just turning their head left and right. And what that is the joints in the neck, they're kind of grinding because of either lack of mobility or because of tightness. And so that's just adding a lot of pressure and stress onto the joints. Now, they're not forcefully doing it, they're just turning their head normal. But if you hear that popping or clicking sound when you're doing that, that indicates that the joints and the muscles in that area are really tight and stiff. And so that's a perfect opportunity when you'd want to see a chiropractor to help restore that mobility at that level, and that'll help get rid of that popping and clicking at that region. So if you have any questions about kind of stretching, self-adjusting, or even chiropractic adjustments, give my office a call at 703-912-7822 or schedule online at novachirowellness.com.